Alright, so in this one, I'm going to be going over what Legends can do to make itself right. Obviously, I made that rant yesterday, and I'm here as a consumer, so obviously, I am just someone that plays the game, spends money, blah 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 blah, discussing what I think would make the game be fixed. Now, again, stating this point, as a consumer, so I am not one that is supposed to figure out the problems, even though I know the problems, and I'm not the one who's supposed to make the solutions. That's supposed to be the devs that get feedback, say this is a problem, fix this problem, the problem gets fixed. The problem is, there's no problems getting fixed. So, to look at this, look, this is a humble GT team, right? Just so I use the 1 PM, a humble strike-based GT team. You look at this and you're like, nothing's overpowered there. Even with me having two 6-star LFs, nothing looks crazy. Maybe Super Saiyan 4 Goku, that's just because you have PTSD of him on Saiyans and him ruining your entire existence with his blue card locking in and doing 2 million damage because he said, yes sir, that's my turn. It's a fair and honest team. No revival, no endurance on this setup. Fair and honest. You wouldn't complain about it. I feel like you wouldn't complain about this team if you ran into it. You'd be like, how does he have a 6-star Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Gogeta, but nothing else you complain about? They'd be like, oh, he's Zenkai, that red GT Goku? I thought he was ass. Well, that red GT Goku is actually pretty decent. Understand, this is a fair team, a good team, and nothing you cannot overpower with Rival Universe, Powerful Opponent, Future. All these other teams can overpower this team. And obviously, the main core of Saiyans and Hybrids can overpower this team and make them look like complete dog shit. Yes, the problem is, they can do that. That little aspect I said at the end, make them look like dog shit. This team isn't bad, so why would it be able to look bad? Because of how broken the other team is. Now, to look at, I don't know, let's just see what teams I have made right here. Rival Universe. This team, to even look at the tag, because you can see it in their tags too, which teams are very humble and which teams are very, not humble, very greedy, I guess you'd call it. Rival Universe, you see two Zenkais, that's all they have, two Zenkais. Because I Zenkai 7 everyone besides Android 18, right? So I have all of them done, everything, every character, besides LF Frieza and Namek Goku.ex, but that's it. Rival Universe looks very humble. You have Red Kefla Anniversary Unit, okay, 7 stars, makes kind of sense, because she's back here, got our anniversary, probably to 6 stars, maybe pulled her once or twice on this banner, boom, makes sense. Purple Hit, a little higher, okay. Champa, pretty much where you expect him, maybe could have been higher or lower, because he's been back a couple times with Vados. Kale Caulifla, higher than you think, because they're 8 stars, it's their first banner. Bergamo, probably should be near maxed out for most people. And then Kaba, probably don't have him Zenkai 7, you will eventually, because he's basically free Zenkai 7. But Kaba, who's Zenkai 7, a good support unit. It's a blast-based Rival Universe team, because you have double attacks at the bench of Hit and Champa, and you have Bergamo's help. And then top 3 obviously blast-based units. What's the problem with this team? They don't match up. At all. I tried running this team, I ran into Saiyans, I ran into Hybrids, and I got fucked. Like, completely fucked. I didn't do damage, I did nothing. When I ran into, like, Future, or GT, or anything else, I actually had a chance to win. I won some matches, I lost some matches, yes. But it was actually a fair and honest chance. Kind of like yesterday, or actually 1 PM rather, I include that 7 minute, I think, God Key match, and I won it. I was using GT, and I won against God Key, that infinite healing, given I had to double rush. Well, I didn't have to double rush because I would have won because the timer counts, but because I have more damage, but I double rushed, but I mean, it's a game mechanic, you can't really avoid a game mechanic, you have to play with the game mechanic or you're going to lose. I had a fair and honest chance to win against a very strong team that has infinite healing, because Vados infinite heals you, and then I look at a team like this and it's like, I can't use this, I would not stand a chance. You know, you notice it when I kind of make some showcases and showing off this unit or this unit, this unit. I always have to have a very good core base of a other team on my team. So to look, alright, my core base on, let's say I was showing off Red Bardock. Who did I have? I'm assuming I had Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I had Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I had one of those two units, I had Namek Goku, I had somebody there to carry their slack. Now that's not innately because it's the game's fault. I mean, yes it is, because power creep does exist and it's going to be a thing in the entire game. I understand that. The problem is, the game hasn't power creeped other units, but it's power creeped more recent units than old units. And yes, that is called Zenkai. Now Zenkai, to actually get into the meat and potatoes of this, the main problem is not the newer ones. It's just the older ones. You'll never see someone complain about Kamikolo, Red GT Goku, Yellow Frieza, Red Cooler. No one's going to complain about them. You know why? They're not broken. They're really not. God Vegeta. People thought he was ridiculous on release, then they kind of realized, oh, he's really mediocre because that health restriction he has. There's a lot of old Zenkais that aren't worth complaining about because they're not good enough. Then you look at new Zenkais, and they're also there. But then there's just some outliers of like Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Trunks. Blue Cooler on release, not anymore now, but Blue Cooler on release was #1 in the game when he Zenkai'd. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Red FSK. Now, people said this in the comments, and I've been saying this in multiple videos. It's just like, I guess this is just the whole video just discussing this main topic, but, discuss more things after it. Nerfing units. Now, when you sign up for the game, and people are going to tell me I'm wrong because I've heard this 1,000 times, I've mentioned this 1,000 times because I've always been stating this because I feel like no one knows they can do this. They can nerf units. When you sign up for the game, Legends ask you, hey, are you okay, or basically you have to agree to the terms of, are you okay with adjustments and changes to come to units, whether it be positive or negative, basically. Because they've had balance changes to buff units, so if you have balance change, you can also nerf a unit. You say yes, or they don't let you play. So you have to agree to their terms because it's their game, right? This is not me opening the game on like my own browser source, right? This is, I have to open Legends app to get to my characters. I have to get through the pixels to open and see my pixels on the screen, right? That's it. It's not my own cloud-based server where I can control what I see and all this shit. It's not. So why not nerf units? Now I know FSK, on release he should have been nerfed, right? Nah, people didn't really care that much on release because you were thinking, okay, it's more Sun Family gear, they're not going to buff another Sun Family unit. And then Namegoku got his Zenkai. I was like, okay, well, Namegoku, he's a problem, but he's only a bigger problem because FSK. And then Super Saiyan 3 Goku got his Zenkai. It was like, okay, well, okay, here we go. We don't need, 6 of the 7 units in Z tier to be on one team. Because you have Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Z tier, Namegoku, arguably S to Z tier. It all depends how good you are. Gohan, Z tier, FSK. And then you have non-Zenkais that became Z tier, which is phenomenal. I love that. I can never argue that that's a good or bad thing. That's a great thing, and I'm happy that it happened. The problem is, it happened for the wrong team. Future Gohan, Revival Gohan, 5 units, arguably, and then you have Super Saiyan 3 Goku. The full team, arguably, with Namegoku, of Z tier units. And even if you don't rate, let's say, Namegoku as Z tier because you're just not good enough with them, replace Super Saiyan 4 Goku on that team. Does it really matter? And I'm not saying, yes, that's the best team setup because they're all Sun Family, they're all, this and that. No, the best team setup is hybrids. But it goes to show that why is it one team has 6 Z tier when I look at Purple Hit, who's tier 1, I look at Red Kefla, who's tier 2. Why is that the case? Doesn't make sense. It should be the case. They should have nerfed Gohan, maybe gave him, I don't know, kind of like Dokkan. It has to be with a Super Saiyan Goku below this amount of health and have this many allies dead to make Gohan do what Gohan does. Because I think Gohan should be able to do what he does, just in a lot more restrictive state. He needs to have like a Super Saiyan Goku die, and then it has to be this many counts afterwards, because this game is very anime accurate, right? So Gohan, after Goku died, did not instantly go, I am my father's son, and kill Cell. No, he struggled. So give me that struggle in game. I don't see a struggle of FSK in the game. He never struggles. So give me that struggle. He should have had that. That's my take, right? Super Saiyan 3 Goku, same exact thing. You're supposed to have him struggle. This man struggled to do that Spirit Bomb. This man deformed to base because he was using so much power. And yet, there's no struggle. This game's very accurate with movesets and attack animations and everything, but the inaccuracy of, oh, these characters are meant to be like this, well, they don't get like this. But Boo Tanks, for example, the memed unit, he gets weaker. And what happens with Boo Tanks as he's fighting? He gets weaker because they're deforming inside of him, Goten and Trunks. Why? What did they forget? FSK doesn't instantly one-shot sell. I think they just like, oh, who cares, right? We forgot FSK got his arm fucked up because he was saving Vegeta. We forgot he was giving up and having no power, basically, because he was giving up the entire time. Same with Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I mean, you saw him deform. It's not like he got healed until he pops the ult. Before all that, he does no damage. He doesn't hurt Boo. He just... And then they're just equal fighting. And I'm pretty sure Kid Buu is stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku, like, on Supreme Kai's planet. So it's like, why is he so strong here? And why is he so broken? I don't understand it. But yeah, that issue, just Nerf Zenkai's, right? Now, the revival issue. There's two solutions. One's easy, one's money. So, the easy issue, or easy fix, rather, would be have revival be something where it doesn't save you. Now, you know what I mean by this, right? Revival, you throw in a revival unit to a rush, you're saved. There's no negative to getting rushed with a revival, because you just get stronger. Revival makes your unit stronger. So, solution, if you get rushed while you're a revival unit, you die. If you get rushed while you're an endurance unit, you die. Let me explain this. In no circumstance does a regular Joe Schmo think, okay, I'm going to rush this endurance unit because I think it's a smart play, rather than I just need to pop it and try to kill as quickly as possible. To explain that, let's say Future Gohan is in, and this endurance thing still exists. Obviously, he could take a rush, whatever. Well, what if you don't have a Nullify Endurance unit? Then, you're forced to pick between Revival Gohan, First Life, Future Gohan, First Life, and then FSK if you get lucky, which any decent player can stop you from getting FSK rushed. If you're running hybrids and they know how to manipulate timer counts, it's really not hard. So what they can do, and it's a very, very simple solution, right? You still have Nullify Endurance units, right? You have LF Rose, DKP, Purple Hit. That's fine. Tell me a circumstance where you feel the need to use any of these units. You ever use DKP? Maybe he's the most out of all of them. You ever use Purple Hit? Probably not. Maybe recently because of this new Rival Universe buffs. Do you ever use LF Rose? No. So with these units not being as effective and used nowadays, why even cater to them? Like, why even have them exist? Like, I want them to be there, right? You can nullify endurance, you can do whatever, that's fine, but just have my rush do the same thing. I don't get where I'm doing a combo attack of 3 characters, maybe 2 characters, maybe just 1 character, but obviously the weaker you are, the stronger the rush does. How that doesn't nullify something unless the unit has a special attribute to nullify it, I never understood that, because Rising Rush is supposed to be a comeback mechanic. How am I going to come back if I'm not nullifying Revival, nullifying Endurance? You can't come back. If I'm in a 1v3 and they have 5 lives and I haven't killed a single life, where's my comeback coming from? Because I'm not getting a comeback if I'm going to rush Future Gohan or Rival Gohan. I'd have to rush FSK, then I have to outplay my opponent 67 times to then kill the other 2 units that have 4 lives total, because Endurance and then Revival. Why not just make it where I nullify that? At least, if not with a triple rush of 3 characters, when I'm down a character, when I have less characters than my opponent, allow my rush to nullify this, nullify this. Allow my rush when I have 1 character to go neutral. So like when I have 2, it can nullify. When you have less characters than your opponent, have your rush be 2 characters. You nullify Endurance, you nullify Revival on that rush. That 1 character, well, don't make it a guessing game, but if you don't get guessed, nullifies Revival or Endurance. And then, when you have 1 character, Make the Rising Rush only the Rising Rush, maybe 3 counts after Rush if you really want to be nice, but it wouldn't be effective because you reset back to long range. Make it so one character can go type neutral, so your last man standing can go type neutral on the Rising Rush alone. Then we're fine. That's so simple, so easy, because characters have uniques that go neutral. Make my character be able to do what these other characters that aren't balanced do. The only way to balance out is to make other things go up. And if my purple hit is not going up, and my Scouter Vegeta isn't going up, then how am I meant to win a match that's not winnable from the get-go? You need that comeback mechanic, as they state Rising Rush is, to be beneficial to the losing player. Now, I'm not saying you should be able to get a rush in 9 cards. No, you shouldn't. You really shouldn't. You should be able to get a rush in 15, maybe. But getting a rush below 10 cards is ridiculous. You've seen it in matches that I've played. People get rushes in legitimately all 7 cards they use is a Rising Rush ball or Dragon Ball. And they get a Rising Rush in one combo because they'll use cards. I'll catch them, I'll sidestep whatever, and then I'll eventually catch them, and I'll do my combo. And I've done so many cards in my combo, it feels like, because they haven't landed a hit on me, but then they'll have a rush before me. Well, how about, instead of that as well, you just make it so if the person who has less health gets balls more. Wouldn't that make sense? If I have less health, and this is a comeback mechanic, why not make it so me, who's losing, gets balls quicker? No, I'm not saying every single hand has to be 4 balls. No. But make it so, let's say he's getting, I don't know, let's say I'm losing down bad. Like, I have 2 characters, he has 3, basically full health. Well, let's say both of us don't have a rush. Somehow, right? Somehow we both don't have a rush yet. Or we both used a rush already, and then we have another one farming up. Make his second rush farm up 20%, 40%, 50% slower, because if he gets a second rush before I get a second rush, there's no sense in having that called a comeback mechanic, because how can I come back if he has the same mechanic as me? The only difference would be, obviously, with my idea, oh, I can nullify endurance, nullify revival on my rush because I'm down a character. But then, if he already has something and I don't have if I don't have a endurance or revival unit, and he has a second rush before I even have my second rush, where would the balance be? That's not a comeback. That's shit stomping somebody and then, like, I don't know, dancing on their grave. Like, there's no comeback involved in that, right? So it's either you do that. That's a solution, right? That's a pretty easy solution, I think. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If you're down characters, you do these things that counter out these broken characters that are essentially making you go down characters and not allowing you to rush in the first place. You make these solutions, which is what I just stated, which are very good solutions, actually, once I think about it. The other one, give everyone a revival unit. Just hammer out revival units. Hammer them out. Hammer them out. They stopped with Revival Gohan. They were like, oh man, we made something so broken, busted, and now we have to chill out. Well, that's the opposite way you should be doing. Why would you chill out? You're just going to ignore hybrids and be like, okay, best team in the game. Keep it. Have it. No issue. You don't get to have a problem. Why not give me a blue revival unit on a different team? No, not Revival Goku. Just any team. Give me a Revival Cell. Yeah, I know, right? A Revival Cell, we already have one. Give me a good one now. Give me a Revival... Dude, Super Saiyan... Yeah, Super Saiyan Goku. I don't know, not a Goku, maybe. Give me a Revival Vegeta from... I mean... Super Saiyan Blue Evolution could have been that. Anything, man. Just give me your... Angel Vegeta. God. Every single team I try to name, it doesn't need buffs. Because that's Saiyans as well. I'm going to try to think of a good one. Rival Universe. Give me a Revival Kaba. Because he gets shit on by Frieza, then he goes Super Saiyan 2, right? Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, Revival Kaba. Give me that. I know, Saiyans, but he's not going to be right on Saiyans. Just, he's not. The Saiyans are not going to get any replacements anytime soon because they're so good. I mean, give me the Trio de Danger. Then they all have endurance because they're Or Bergamo, really. Like, give him endurance. Like, Bergamo's a tanky motherfucker in the show. You're an anime-accurate show. Why don't I have these traits in these characters that I should be having? I don't know. The robots, why aren't they in the game? They'd be very tanky, very good. They could even have revival into Annie Laza. It's so easy, right? It's so easy to think of these things. And again, this is a consumer. We're all consumers of this game. So, you could say this is stupid, this is smart, whatever, of my opinion, and what I'm saying. It doesn't matter, one, because is this ever going to actually happen? Hopefully, probably not though. And two, it's not my job to think of solutions. I'm not prepping these solutions. I'm not writing them down, thinking about them on paper and being like, oh no, that's smart, no, that should happen. Because you know why? It's not my job to. It's the developers. It's their job to develop the game in a positive way. And people were saying yesterday, and I think it's silly, every developer, if nothing else, they do care about the game actually being fun. Now, do they play as much as they probably lead on? No, because if they played, they know this equipment system's ass. They know the meta is actually dog shit. Given if they do play, maybe they play at like lower BRs, but you still run into like FSKs at lower BR, so you probably, understand that's a problem. They go for enjoyment while also going for money. To compare to any other game, right? Most other games will do patches and patches and patches, and then, okay, something big's coming up like Christmas. We'll do all these patches in like early December, and then the game will be great for those few weeks, and then maybe January-ish, the game goes back to shit. Well, they did all these patches because they want you to be happy with the game. Once you're happy with the game, you'll gladly spend money. That's how Legends should be, right? If you're happy with the game, you're going to spend money. A lot of people are not happy. This game is not being as looked at as often anymore because people aren't happy with the state of it. The state of it isn't balanced. If they just learned how to make that balance, because they do play the game, because they have to play the game to understand units, right? They know they can't make God Topo stronger than FSK. They know they can't make Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta better than whoever else, right? Or they can't make the Zenkai 7 God Vegeta better because people have said their issue with Zenkai, with all these things, and they're like, I want my new units better than my old units. I want my Zenkais to be second-rate options while my main units are first-rate options. My new LF is a first-rate option. My new 1% sparking is a first-rate option. I don't want these old-ass units, Vados, for example, Namekoku, all these other units, to be first-rate options when 8 months down the line, we have a replacement, and they're still not replacing. Because you look right here, this guy ain't your main option on Rival Universe or God Key. Well, obviously not on God Key, but on Rival Universe. Vados is. Vados is just better, even with him giving good support. Just not your main unit. Why? I don't know. That's my solutions. That's all I could think of. Like, really, because what else can you do? Nerfing units, then making Rising Rush actually useful in a circumstance for the losing player, because it's a comeback mechanic, is legitimately the only way to, like, fix what Legends has done. Because if I could nullify a rival or endurance, I wouldn't be scared to rush. Right? Fine, let me lose a character, that's fine. If I can nullify, though, there's no problem. And that's good, because it's only a one-time chance. Right? It's not like I'm guaranteed to nullify this attribute that they have that is their saving grace of their kit, when it's not actually. Like, Rival Gohan is not his saving grace. His whole existence is his saving grace. But to nullify that attribute is fair. It is. It truly is. I know people will be like, nah, that's stupid. No. Why would you think that's fair? Give me a solution that makes this game actually balanced, besides nerfs. A solution is the Rising Rush one. Don't make any characters unique. Don't make any characters like, oh, this has to be this has to be this to nullify this or this or this. Just slap it in and give a real battle system update, not just, oh, you could see PVs better now, which is, I would say, 70% luck-based, 30% actually timing-based. You can see PVs better. Give me a real battle system update. It's pretty simple how to play this game. After a rush, guess what you should do? If they don't have an ultimate, you tackle them. tackle into a card. Either you get their vanish out, or you get a rush on them. This game is very linear with it not changing, right? They haven't changed anything, which means they probably think this game's in a good state, battle system wise. Which the battle system, thinking about the battle system as a whole, I think the battle system is okay. Obviously, the changes are good because it could be a, disimprovement or an improvement. Well, it's still something that's different. Right? I want different. I don't want the same plays to be made every single time. I don't want to be able to make the same goddamn thing every single time and it always works. It just gets not boring, but it just gets old. Like, give me something fresh so I could actually enjoy maybe this type of character more, or this type. Maybe if the game is more offensive supportive, because this game is very passive, right? You can play passive and it grants you passive play. Like, you're supposed to play passive in this game to win easier. Give me more that Purple Hit would be better off because this game's a more offensive game, and Purple Hit is going to do crazy stuff because he's more offensive based. Give me where LF Broly's better because this game's more offensive. LF Broly, you really can't do much until you start getting your combo on. Well, if they're so passive and they have 3 vanishes, how is LF Broly going to look at his prime unless you're just outplaying them? Just make the game more focused on what actually people want than stupid stuff of, okay, FSK, okay, Super Saiyan 3, okay, this. To make the game where aggressive play is supported and passive play. You lose ki when you go to the longest range. You lose ki once you start backfloating. You lose ki, you lose vanish once you start doing any of these things. Make it so passive play is countered out by in-game mechanics in the battle system update. Change the Rising Rush shit, and then you have a game that's actually solid, actually run from most players on multiple teams, multiple ways to play the game, multiple things to do anything. It's very simple. Those are easy solutions. If you don't want to nerf, then make that a solution. It's so simple. Let me know what you guys think of this. I think it's actually pretty smart what I was saying. But hey, if you guys disagree, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one.